Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video. Welcome everybody, guys. In today's video we will take a look at the Canadian dollar. So the second weekly research stands not for a gold again, but for a Canadian dollar. So actually, to be honest, the daily situation on the Canadian dollar is not the major reason why we have chosen the Canadian dollar, why we have chosen the loonie for discussion, but mostly the fundamental background and situation on the long-term charts. On previous couple of weeks, guys, we have talked here and there about different issues that stands in relation to the Canadian dollar, the possible action of this currency pair, but that was really from time to time and just partially here and there, just as an implication to some other currencies and so on. But today, since we think that this overall situation around the Canadian dollars looks really serious, and it stands in touch with very significant events such as the new Donald Trump energy policy, the federal fund rate futures, and the policy of the Fed compared to the policy of the Canadian central bank. We think that this will be really very important fundamental factors that could determine the direction for the Canadian dollar in the coming years. So maybe even not just for 1-2 years, maybe even longer. Because if you will take a look at the monthly chart of the Canadian dollar, you could see the real dramatic action. So since the 2011 market has passed approximately 30 points. So right now it stands at 134. When the market was at 0.9 area, who could imagine that market will drop? I mean, the Canadian dollar will drop, or the currency pair will appreciate right to the 134 area. This was mostly just unbelievable. And in today's weekly research, that's probably the major reason why we take a look at the Canadian dollar today. In the weekly research, we make an attempt to bring you our view on the fundamental perspective of the Canadian dollar and on the long-term analysis. This view definitely is not flawless. This view is definitely will be arguable. You could not agree maybe with many issues, but guys, currently, based on the fundamental background that we have the reasons to think and treat it in this manner. That's why if you would like to know this opinion and if you would like to know the potential targets that Canadian dollar could reach within the 2-3 years, you could read the weekly research. The daily video and the situation that we will talk about in the daily video will be just the part of this large view. This is just tactical stuff, that one minor small step in this long journey that we could get in Canadian dollar. So, but on the daily situation, we also have some isolated pattern that we could trade. So this is we have the twofold interest here. This is the pattern, and second, that's most important for a longer perspective, how this pattern will be involved in further progress in the Canadian dollar. So let's start from it. On the daily chart, guys, as you can see, market stands in the channel, this upward channel, and from perspective of that channel, it has a very important level. It's 131, these lows. Because if market will take out of these lows, this will be a turning point for the weekly chart, turning point for a medium-term perspective for the Canadian dollar. Because this low is very important. It's not just a low, but it's also the lower bottom of the channel. And the breakout out of this channel will be definitely bearish. Surely it will happen not on the coming week, because you can see we have the oversold area right around 133.50. And that probably will be the floor for a price action on the coming week. Currently, we have very attractive situation, guys, some kind of the unique situation when market stands very close to the very strong support. This is fib level, monthly pivot for the January, weekly pivot support one, and also that is daily reversal. So this is hard rock support, and definitely it should hold even bearish market from the immediate breakout and push it slightly higher. As a result, guys, you can see we have very nicely looking background for the bread and butter buying pattern. So we have the thrust up, 1, 2, let's calculate this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles to the upside. It's enough. Thrust is very nice. No significant retracement was during this thrust. And now market is dropping and reaching major fib support. This is background for the bread and butter. So that is the isolated pattern that I have talked about. So the short-term traders, scalp traders, you could trade just this bread and butter without looking on the longer-term perspective. For the others who trade on the daily and weekly, it will be interesting whether the market will just complete the minor target of this bread and butter, this upward action, or the bread and butter will be used as the background, as just a retracement to further upward action and finally the breakout of 136 resistance. Because as this level is very important for the bearish market, the breakout of this level, as this resistance 136 is very important for the bullish perspective. So because if market will take it out to this top, it should continue upward action, because this will trigger the chain reaction of the different technical factors that we have discussed in our weekly research on monthly chart. And that will tell us that this action is not just a retracement on the Canadian dollar. But our week will start right from the trading of the bread and butter pattern. So if you'll take a look at the hourly chart, it's also interesting. Moments exist. Here, guys, you could probably recognize some shape of the head and shoulders or something of that sort. Anyway, we have the downward extension, A, B, C top. Take a look. Reaction at 100% point, minor retracement. Market right now has hit the 1618 target. So downward action here has been completed. And this simultaneously has happened right at the confluence support on the hourly chart. So you can see this is major trade level, the same as we have on the daily chart, 134 approximately. And from that low to this top, 618 support. So that creates the confluence support, the combination of the two different factors. Slightly lower stands major support on the daily chart. Oversold, daily pivot support 1 and monthly pivot point. Here, guys, the one point that we do not have here is just the reversal pattern. But in general, this combination should be enough to hold market and starting the bread and butter trade. Minimum target of the bread and butter trade will be 135.22, 618 resistance of the whole action to the downside. That's the minimum target of the bread and butter. Here, guys, maybe butterfly will be formed. I do not know. Here, currently, would not have any patterns, but that's choices up to you whether you would like to wait for some pattern here, or you could take position here immediately with placing this down below this support area. Well, this is mostly technical question, not really important. You could act as you prefer to. So maybe it makes sense to wait for butterfly, but maybe it will not be formed since the major target already has been completed. It's 1618 right at major support. So that's why you could act immediately on the beginning of the next week. Anyway, as you can see, this background is very nice for the bread and butter trade. So major level has been hit, extension has been completed, market has reached very significant support. That should be enough to trigger the bread and butter. Closer to the end of the week, we will be watching for what will happen around this target. So whether the market will continue to move higher or not. That will be very important already for next week. So for the weekly perspective. That's, guys, our current view on the short-term situation in the Canadian dollar. If you would like to know a bit more about what we think on the longer-term perspective, be our guest and just visit the forum and read the weekly research.